What's up, Lex?
What's up, dude? How's it going?
Dude, been a hell of a weekend, even crazier day.
Yeah, no, I know, man. I'm excited to hear about it.
Man, it's wild. I think I've learned more in having a brick and mortar business these last couple years than any other business that I've tried to start. And, all businesses I think are so different in so many different ways. You have e-commerce businesses, you have trade businesses, services that you can offer to people, but when it's brick and mortar and people are walking through the front door, it's just a whole nother beast.
Yeah, I have no idea. I've never had a brick and mortar myself. I've ran brick and mortars, but never my own.
When you're fully responsible for it, when shit breaks down and stuff breaks, it's like, your family takes a sacrifice for it. You're there repairing stuff in the weekends. You're missing parties.
It's a lot of sacrifice.
There's a lot of sacrifice. So, I put in 4 years into this and, just recently sold it back to my partner. And today is the day that I exit. And, it's so cool to see that you got a shop next door to the gym.
Yeah. Well, I only got it because of you.
Dude.
What was that, last year in November? Last November is when you told me about it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So last year, November is when you first told me about this place. And then I met with Sam, who you guys both showed me it. And then I signed the lease in late December.
Rad.
And then moved in January 4th.
Dude, this place is a little gem too, because as with looking at places, you don't get to find smaller places very often.
No, especially not like a standalone, like a building that has like this. It's not huge, but it has like the exact amount of space, which was exactly what I needed to get out of the garage.
Yeah.
So
it's crazy. It's like, I think when we go back and we talk about it, my brother, I could say, either introduced us or reintroduced us. And then once we talked again and found out that not only we were the same astrological sign, but we had the same exact fucking birthday.
Yeah, I forgot about that, which is coming up.
Yeah. So our birthdays are coming up, which is wild.
Dude, I always forget about that part.
But then we reminisced, for like weeks and months and stuff, and talked about like the times as childhood that we probably had saw each other across paths.
Well, yeah, because you were helping me in the garage with some work, and then we were just talking about random people that we coincidentally knew, so the fact that we don't remember us crossing paths is kind of crazy, because I'm sure we were in the same vicinities often.
Well, I mean, dude, similar friends and stuff like that. You grew up with both of the Nicks, and both those guys are really good friends with my neighbor Alex across the street. And so it was just wild to me that, running back into somebody again, and we had so much in common, and, you had a business that was up and booming, and, it's life is wild, man.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was definitely a crazy crossing paths, and now we talk pretty damn often.
Yeah, I would say pretty often, man. I mean, we're both busy dudes, and we both have families and kids, and so, it takes a lot of effort for someone that's running a business to reach out to friends and still
maintain relationships.
Dude,
and
it's
build
hard.
Friendships is difficult.
Yeah. Especially the older we get too, you don't realize the weeks and months that go by, and you're like, damn, we haven't talked in like 3-4 months.
For sure. There'll be like a couple weeks where we won't talk, and then one of us will hit each other up, and it's just like, oh yeah, dude.
It's the grind of the business, when you're in it, and especially you, man, because you have so much hands-on work that you have to do for your business. I mean, it's got to take a lot out of you. Yeah,
for sure it does. I mean, it's getting to the point where it would be nice to have help, but with how the economy is and everything else, it's kind of like making my time more efficient and worth it to maintain, which has been fine. I am going to be looking for help pretty soon here, but yeah, it's a lot of hands-on, because I do the sales, I do all invoicing, I do all production, brand building, the content, the photography, like everything. Yeah. Even building this shop and setting up this podcast system has been daunting, and I'm just about ready to start it.
Dude, it's wild too, because I mean, outside of like having a couple people that have helped you throughout the years, the only person that's probably been consistent that's helped is your wife.
Yeah.
And so, it's doing it day in, day out. And I've seen you roll through some big accounts, and it seems like this last year, 2023, it's been rough on the economy. And when it's rough on the economy, businesses like yours feel it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, we were, my best year was about $250,000, and it was just me. And I'm probably coming up on maybe 3 quarters right now in total sales for the last 4 years.
Yeah.
And with just very limited help, other than my wife, who would help in assembly. And that's, basically it, just the assembly and, ringing keychains and sometimes dyeing keychains with me. But other than that, it's basically myself. I had a partner for maybe 9 months, but that fell south quickly, and got out of that situation. And then it's been just me ever since.
Not only navigating businesses is difficult, but then when you do it with a partner, especially when it's a friend, my goodness.
And ownership is involved. Yeah. I mean, I'm thankful that when we set up our LLC, I had, final say in everything. So I was smart because I started it 100% myself. He didn't come in until after like a year of proven sales and proven processes. So it was more of someone jumping in with an ownership title rather than just an employee. And yes, I mean, that made it murky as well, because when there was ownership, there was buyouts and everything that you're now, going through very recently. The buyout is, I mean, that in itself is mentally exhausting.
It is.
Like drafting that stuff up, getting payments and figuring out what everyone wants and making sure no one's upset. Like that's a lot of emotions.
Well, when we first started talking a little over a year or so ago, probably like almost 2 years ago now, my brother had kind of reintroduced us, and I came and met you and hung out a bit. Keychain Collective, your company was doing, you guys were doing some wood keychains, and then your go-to is all your leather stuff. I remember seeing some of the acrylic stuff out there, but you're really starting to diversify a little bit. Tell me a little about that.
Yeah. So everything started with just wood keychains. I was a carpenter. I used to build furniture as a profession, and I was an engineer, CNC programmer. So all of it went with wood very well. So when I had my own lasers and I started making the wood keychains, the main service of that was for giveaways and for conventions and events and things like that. So I started making the wood ones with the intent of my clients giving them away. So that way, instead of waiting them for to sell out, I had to wait for them to give them away, which, helped their clientele, and it showed their loyalty to their customers and things like that. And I did that for the first year. And then after the second year, I was trying to introduce a new medium every single year. That was like my plan. So the second year is when I did leather. So then leather was a game changer. It took me a little while to perfect, but once I got those down, it was a game changer. Those were way more, they were priced a lot higher, even on wholesale and the retail side, but the cost was great in my margin. So those took off like crazy. Bigger brands started getting more involved because they saw the leather, because it was more niched than other keychains. I would say not a lot of people offer them, especially offer them as I do as a brand. So the main thing with Keychain Collective was building a brand to sell my keychains to other brands, rather than building a brand for my recognition. So being able to do that for other small businesses helped them either gain, followers from Instagram giveaways, things like that, and then also being able to sell so they could turn a profit. So that was like the main focus of the company. Still is. It's just maintaining that brand building. So then the third year was acrylic. So I've been doing the acrylic keychains now a little bit, some hotel tags here and there, like custom things. And yeah, that's about it right now, is the wood, the leather, and the acrylic.
And over the last couple of years, I've seen you pull some big accounts, and a lot of the stuff you said was like a cold call or cold message to these brands and companies, hey, this is what I do, this is what we do for retail merchandising.
Yeah. My entire sales process, I did 98% is in the DMs on Instagram.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah, no marketing almost.
A marketing team would scoff at that. They'd be like, no way. That's
when I did about probably a little under 250,000 with 3,000 in marketing spend.
That's insane.
All just cold reach DMs, just very organically reaching out to brands that I personally like. A lot of big brands that I personally like, I wear, I love. And I would just reach out to them, be like, hey, I'll make you some samples. If you like them, then you have some cool keychains for your cars. And
quality's awesome.
Yeah, and if you want to order some cool, and if you don't, then at least you got some cool keychains, Like that was my approach. I would reach out, and if somebody said not interested, I'd say, thanks, we're here if you change your mind. And if they did show interest, I would make a free sample. I'd do a free mock-up. I'd show them something that they've probably never seen before. Because a lot of these brands, they get hats, they get beanies, they get shirts, hoodies, all the other accessories, but they don't know their logo can be on a keychain. And when you show them their logo on a keychain, it's like, they didn't know it existed.
Dude, they're tough too, because when I got some done from you, and I've handed them out in like gift bags or little raffles that I do, or when I train with people, I give stuff away. It leaves an impact, because it's not a sticker.
It's not a business card.
It's not a business card. You know what I mean? Like getting the keychain like that, you can tell there's like a little more thought into it.
Yeah, they're very custom. Everything is custom in the sense that your shirts and your hoodies have your name on it, but these are not seen as much. It's not just getting a business card from a brand or a business owner that you like. It's getting something that you can take with you.
Yeah.
You know, something tangible that's in your hand that you can use as a cool accessory to show someone, you know, you like that brand or you like what you're getting for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to bring a little awareness to our current economic situation and what's going on now. Through all these brands that you've worked with, that you've seen, and big retailers, there's a lot of people that are shutting down. There's a lot of companies that are not doing well. How has that impacted you this last year?
Oh, a lot. Oh, yeah, a lot. Like I would honestly say that I'm 30 or 40% down from what I normally do right now, which is rough, especially being that this is the first year in my shop. So I just took on an entire, you know, overhead that I didn't have. I had everything in my garage and my, you know, everything was cool. And then I took this on, not to mention the beginning of the year, I had insane car problems, freaking German car problems right after one another, man.
Remember that?
Yeah. And so on top of that, like this year, like you said, that other brands are feeling it. So when the other brands are feeling it, the first thing that they probably aren't going to buy are accessories.
Right.
And so that really hurt my company.
Main item.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I ended up actually just today getting a vinyl cutter so I can now start offering decals, because I figured a lot of my clients that maybe don't want keychains, guaranteed they need stickers.
Yeah.
So I am offering that. I just got to figure some stuff out and get the logistics on that. It's right there.
Yeah.
But
well,
yeah.
dude, I see you on the tech side of things, and that's what's so interesting about you is like your background with CNC and the tech side of what you know. You're pretty damn good with computers and technology, and you've traversed it to basically be a part of your business that you run so many different machines around here. I mean, that's pretty powerful.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been into computers and tech stuff, and you know, I programmed machines for multi-million-dollar companies for years. Even being in the music industry, I would do CNC programming and laser cutting for the parts for the guitars that I would build. So I've been doing this since I was 18.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome. So what do you see for the rest of this year and maybe into next year? Do you see a pickup coming, or do you see brands still losing momentum?
I mean, I don't know about other brands, because I feel like everybody is like, there's like one side where everyone's hurting and they want to stop and cut their marketing expense, which usually my product goes into a marketing advertising type of a situation for other brands. But then there's the flip side where now the smart brands are doubling down on their marketing because of the slow impact. And that's kind of what I'm hoping for. And I still see, like, I have a good amount of clients that order every couple months or so. And those guys have probably stayed the same, if not picked up. But reaching out to new brands is definitely harder.
Yeah.
For the rest of this year, honestly, I'm kind of just trying to keep my main clientele and everything is good, keeping that going. The vinyl will be situated pretty soon here, but the main thing that I'm focused on is a retail store. So I'm actually completely doing my website over for an entire retail page, to that way I'll make a new social media that'll probably be called like KC Retail or something like that, so people know that it's not wholesale.
Do you do the custom one-offs?
Yeah.
Nice.
Because my whole brand is built, everyone knows me as a wholesaler.
Right.
You know, like I'm a manufacturer.
And that's what you want to do. You want to pump out numbers. Volume.
Exactly. And that's worked great. But now, given the economy and how everything is, I see more people into community. You know, more people are gift giving and trying to do those kinds of things. So instead of selling mass quantities to my other clients or reaching out for that, I'll be spending some time working on a retail side of it. So now I can do like all the zodiac signs on leather keychains. You know, someone can order and get their name on one side and a Scorpio on the other side. Things
Wedding
like that.
Date, stuff
Wedding
like
dates,
that.
yeah. You know, things like that are more, I'll buy one or two so I can give one to somebody.
And you can do higher margins there.
Yeah, well, much higher margins. Yeah, I mean, that's another really great side of it. Like I'll sell few, but I'll be able to market it differently, which I've been learning about, and new content, so I can create links to things, affiliate marketing, because now if I get somebody that's selling something that they love, they can get a little bit percentage out of my margins, which won't even hurt me. And now I have more marketing scope through everything.
I think that's powerful there, because, you know, someone that'll still drop 40, 50, 60 bucks and they can get a couple keychains for themselves or a loved one or a present. It's pretty cool when you open up a gift and you're like, oh my gosh, custom keychain with like my name on it or my brand or something like that.
Exactly.
People will feel like that's a lot of love.
Yeah, and that's kind of going to be like the whole, like, my page right now is wholesale, so it's large quantities, it's other brands, and my content, you know, I take my content very specifically, and my photography, and it's always just bulk items, one brand, one logo. So on my new Instagram, it's going to be more keychains being used, a leather keychain on the hip of my wife, or, a different keychain, taken really cool on my Harley.
Like action shots.
Action shots,
Yeah, I love them.
like I used to go camping and I would take pictures on my Jeep, things like that. So I'll go back into the desert and get some cool pictures, and it'll be able to, and for other people too. So when people get my keychains and they can tag me, but now they're not tagging like their business because they're selling them to all these other people that probably don't know me, like that business is selling them to their people, not my people. Mm-hmm. So when my demographic starts buying my keychain and they can actually tag my page directly, then I can start expanding and showing other people that they can buy these for other people as gifts. And it kind of just spreads more love organically through other people enjoying my product.
I see that being pretty successful.
I'm hoping. I have a plan. I've been writing my notes. I've organized all of my different collections of designs, and I've figured out all of the Procreate so I can make it look like everything is real life. And so I'm very close. It's just the time to do it. But, when my hands are all in this and everything else and moving and things like that. So now pretty soon here, I'm hoping to launch the retail site before Christmas.
Yeah.
If I can do it before Black Friday.
Holiday, huge.
So one of the big reasons that kind of sparked me into doing this was I was going to try to get it done before Black Friday so I can, just massive sale. I'll probably put a few hundred on just an ad for a couple days of Black Friday sales, buy one keychain, get one free for your girlfriend or whatever. So that's like my main push to get it done. But given that it's like the end of October and next month is going to be crazy anyway, so we'll see how much I can get done. But I'm pretty hopeful before Christmas, at least before the end of I'd like it before the end of the year.
Yes, definitely. Have it all set up for the new year. Mm-hmm. That's still good because people got that Christmas money from gifts and stuff like that, and they're still out there trying to spend. So
as soon
as you can get it up, bro, it's good.
Yep.
Well, the main reason that I wanted to start doing these kind of interviews and sitting down with people, and you're a good dude and you have a good head on your shoulders, but is a main question of this: what do you think is most important and why? Body, mind, or spirit?
Oh man, I mean they're so connected. I don't know. I think mindset would be probably, and you didn't ask me this question before. I had no idea. So this really is on the spot. But I honestly think that mindset is so important because mindset creates your discipline creates your body creates your soul. Like all of that intertwines so much. But if you don't have a correct mindset and you're just going in, day out with no plan, with no discipline, like your body's not going to follow anything. Your soul probably won't feel very good. And I think I would say mindset. Because if you're not disciplined to get to the gym, your body isn't going to do what you need to. And if your body isn't where it's at, you're not going to feel good as a person because you're not going to like the way you look. You're not going to like who you are because that's who you see. And your soul isn't going to be impacted as well.
That's pretty powerful, man. You were the one that turned me on to Andy Frisella over at First Form. I had never heard of that dude. And ever since you turned me on to him, not only have I done 75 hard phase 1 and 2 twice over now, literally just finished yesterday.
Yeah, dude. Amazing.
Dude, that's dramatically changed my life. Yeah. I don't use that term lightly. Like it has dramatically changed my life, not only as a personal trainer, but in my personal life, and just realizing like how much time I actually had in the day to get this shit done.
The first time I did 75 hard, I never did phase 2. I never did the program, the phases afterwards, but I did 70. The very first time I ever attempted 75 hard, I crushed it. 100% all the way through. Crazy change mentally, crazy change physically. Like it was insane. And then right after that, I did another 45 days. Mm-hmm. And the only reason I stopped that was because it was our buddy Nick's wedding. Yeah. And I ate out of my fasting window. It was literally the only reason. I even worked out twice that day.
Yep.
And then I did another 30 or 40 days of it again. Just for getting myself back into routine. But yeah, I can't advocate for that program enough. I mean, dude, I remember first talking about it with you, and I remember we were hanging out when I was doing 75 hard.
Yep, you were already on it.
Yeah, I think I was already on it when we were doing it. And
you were actually just getting ready to come off because I think I asked if like you want to have a drink or something, and you're like, not right now.
Yeah, because I think we've only had we drank tequila like one time.
Yeah,
like ever.
Yeah.
But yeah, that program, man, and I mean, dude, I've seen the changes in in you physically and mentally for as much as we do talk, like after doing that program. And it's just
the mental fortitude and that's what Andy would say, the mental fortitude that it gave to me turned me into a beast of a person that I didn't know I could be.
To grow to a standard that you won't tolerate anything less.
Dude, it gave me a standard of life and the ability to not only love myself and care about myself enough, but to not have excuses.
To be selfishly, like, it's almost like you're selfishly working on yourself so you can be better for those around you.
Yeah. 100%.
And doing that program, realize, like, dude, I have, and I know you're the same way, I have such little sympathy for when someone tells me they don't have time to do something. Like, has that not changed for you?
Yes.
You're like, oh, we could go do this, and like, oh, I don't have time. And it's like, well, you work a 9 to 5. You got time. And after doing the program, after the first like full 75 days of doing it, and you know, I'm self-employed, 2 kids, a wife, and I did everything flawlessly. You make a plan and you stick to it, man. Yeah. Like I had plan A and plan B for my 75 hard. If I woke up past a certain time, because I would get up at usually 5 or 5:30, get my first 14-mile ride in, and then go on with my day, and then I would lift at 8 at night. And that was my program. And if I woke up after that, I would switch it, go to the gym earlier, and then do my ride at night. So like no matter what, I knew I had a window to do it. So when people say, oh, I don't have time for that, and it's like, you could have. You could have figured something out minutes before you did whatever it was that you're now saying you didn't have time for.
And the anxiety of planning it out when you're first starting 75 hard and you're first starting to get into it. And as Andy would say, you don't try 75 hard.
No, exactly.
You do it. And so the anxiety about, oh shit, all the stuff I got to get done tomorrow, it's there for a couple weeks.
For a couple weeks, and then it's routine.
Yeah, then it's routine. And now doing it second time over, I don't even have to look at the shit that I have to do. Dude. I just know what I have to do every day. And it's funny because I get those things done and have ample time.
Dude, yeah. And the only time that I would stress about anything would be, it's like, maybe it's like 9 or 9:30. I got home late or I was working late, and now I got to get a 45-minute workout in, and I'm exhausted. Because I've been up since 5 a.m.
Yeah.
And you still do it. You still do it because it's just, you get it done and then you're done.
I've had a couple times, not this last time I've been pretty good, but the first time, there was a few times that I was doing like my last ruck or walk or something like that at like 11 at night. Because I knew it was coming up, and it's like, if I don't do it now, I'm screwed.
Yeah, you got to get it in.
And there was something about that. It just taught me something so different to.
It shows you can do what you say.
Yes, exactly. And to not let myself down.
Yeah.
And to tell myself, you're going to do this every single day for 75 days. And it's not about like, oh, is this the healthiest thing for me? It's about mental grit and fortitude.
100%.
Can you get this shit done?
I've had people like talk to me or say, like, oh, maybe I'll try it. I'm like, you already failed.
Yeah.
You already failed.
Try
you do not.
Hard.
No, like
you just do it.
Yep.
And, you know, I'm not a very good person to like, oh, I'm going to sit down and read a book. So with 75 hard, having to read at least 10 pages a day, it got me back into reading to where I started blowing through books and reading so much. And I love it so much. It doesn't take that much time out of your day.
Dude, in that 75 days, I think I shredded 7 books.
Yeah.
And pretty good books. And they're all, I mean, you learn, you know, it's everything. It has to be not a non-fictional book or whatever.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, you're forced to learn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Been so powerful, dude. Well, I didn't expect an answer like that. So that's pretty powerful, because I think if you don't have a good mindset about something, it's going to screw everything else up.
Yeah. And honestly, I didn't even like, I've always been a positive person, but I've never like the mindset shift when you actually stack those little wins. Like when you go through the day and you finished your list and you check off that last thing and you know that you did what you said you're going to, it builds so much accountability inside of yourself.
It's made me feel unstoppable.
Exactly. Like, yeah, it's just, I mean, everyone should do it.
Yeah.
Like really everybody, my sister's done it.
So if you're thinking about it, do 75 hard.
For sure. Yeah. My sister did it and it can changed her life too. Like it's love just, that. We did it. I think we did it together, but I had already finished it and then she started it. So I just kind of did it with her. And then I don't know if I failed or if I just stopped or something, but yeah.
I had my wife do it with me this last time too. And it was powerful. There was a couple things that she wanted to work on, and it was just so cool to see her reach some of those goals and set some new ones for herself.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Just even though that we stopped telling herself that I'm still going to eat like this, I'm still going to work out every day. It's like, and it's brought us closer. I love it.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, that's amazing. Cool.
Well, thanks, dude. Just want to ask you a couple questions and
Yeah.
we'll get to the next one.
Awesome.